When I was invited to do this talk, there were two voices that simultaneously started erupting inside of me. One of them said, "Yes, this is so exciting." And then there was this other one that popped up and said, "Holy crap, now what?" And it's a uniquely human experience. Anytime an exciting opportunity is presented, I think, to any of us, there are those two parts that are vying for our attention. Now, as a psychodramatist, I know that that dynamic is about the relationship between anxiety and spontaneity. The founder of psychodrama, J.L. Moreno, believed that those two things are inversely related. The more anxious I am, the less spontaneous I can be. But if I can lower my anxiety and my spontaneity can rise, well, there's no limit to where I can go. So rather than telling you more about this through the magic of psychodrama, today we are going to show you. So psychodrama is based on a triadic system, and the three parts are warm-up, action, and sharing. Now, due to the time constraints we have today, you're only going to see the action portion of this. We have done a warm-up together backstage, and we will do our sharing portion together backstage as well. So Tony has very bravely volunteered to be our protagonist today. And what I want you to know also is that these people are not actors. They're absolutely magnificent students that I have the pleasure of working with. But everything that you will see done here is done spontaneously and in an unscripted way. So when we think about exploring that issue of anxiety versus spontaneity, we're going to start with Tony in this center chair. So have a seat. And just take a moment, and if you could name for us what this internal dilemma is that you might be struggling with right now.
Well, about a year ago, I found out what I need to do to be a more fulfilled attorney. Mm-hmm. But the journey of going there is very difficult. In fact, it's very scary.
Very scary to let go of that security.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So the dilemma is whether to choose between being a happier attorney, maybe make a little bit less money, mm-hmm. or make more money and be a miserable attorney.
Right. There you go. How many men in our culture struggle with this dilemma, especially when there's a family involved that they have to support? So one at a time, I'm going to invite you to take each of these chairs, and we're going to hear these two inner voices. And the rest of the group that we have here will be eventually taking on roles. They might also do something that we call doubling. And I'm going to demonstrate doubling. A double is somebody who gets you so well that they could speak for you. And classically in psychodrama, when I double, I step in behind the protagonist and I make a statement as though I am him. And he can correct it, or he can repeat it, or he can embroider upon it. So I'm going to double, and we'll see if this fits. What in God's name was I thinking, putting myself out to do a piece of work in front of all these people here today?
Yeah. It's very scary.
Yeah, glad the lights are bright, so I don't really have to see any of the faces either. This is good.
That's
okay.
Right.
Okay, great. So that's what doubling is. So one at a time, where I'm going to invite you to take on each of these roles.
Okay.
So you choose which one you want to sit in first, and we'll hear from these two inner voices.
What role is this?
You sit and you tell us.
Okay. This role is when I found the purpose of my life, so to speak.
Okay. So have a seat and let's have you speak from this role, and we'll hear this part of you.
Well, finally I found a way to fulfill myself in my chosen career. I work at myself and I figure out what's my value, what are important in my life. I figured out the clients that I need to attract to fulfill those, to make me be fulfilled.
Yeah, and if you can just take a moment and tune in and just name what the value is that I found.
Well, I love helping people.
I love helping people.
Yeah, and I want to work with clients that has need or need help.
Yes.
In legal profession, sometimes clients they came to me because they want to take advantage of the law, and nothing wrong with that. But you know, it just they had to ask different attorney to help them out.
Yeah.
Because that is no longer in line with
Yeah.
my value.
Yeah. That's no longer my value.
Yeah.
So if I move, yes, please. So I'm going to invite you just to make a statement about what it feels like to sit in this chair and be tuned into my value and create a work life to represent that.
It's wonderful because if I'm in this place, I can wake up early, go to work early, and happily stay late every single workday.
Fabulous.
And that's what motivates me to work hard, to work long hours, and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. So just take a moment and let that land inside of you. And Tony, I'm going to invite you to choose somebody to take this role for you. Who in the group can take the role?
I'll choose Michael.
Michael, come have a seat. You go back to the middle chair, please, Tony. And we're just going to hear that. So Michael's now taking on this role that Tony represented as a part of him.
When I get to help people, when I get to do something to make a difference in people's lives, that's when I feel really fulfilled. That's where my value is. And I'm willing to start early and work late. I don't care because it fills my heart. That's really where I want to be.
You got it, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you take on the other chair. Let's hear the other voice.
Well, yeah, he can talk about his value all he wants, but the reality, the reality is I have family to feed, Towards the end of the day, I got to put food on the table. I have 2 children I need to support. And, I need to sustain the lifestyles that, my family is going through right now. So if I'm walking towards that direction, man, scary.
I might lose some money. Might lose some clients.
Well, first thing I need to do is to turn away the clients that are going to pay me for doing things that they want to do.
Yeah, if I stop taking those clients that pay me that way, then I'm going to lose money.
And if I do, I'm kind of afraid that what my kid's going to say is like, yeah, what happened? How come we cannot go this place, go that place, or have this kind of things, or that kind of thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Choose somebody to take on this role. Diane? Great. Go back to the center chair, please, and we're going to hear from this voice.
Well, that's great. Yeah, values. That's really great. That'll feed the family. What are you thinking? That's a pretty selfish act on your part. You can't just give up what you've been doing, and you've got a family to feed. And what are the kids going to think? What are they going to tell their friends?
You got that role, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're going to hear both of them at the same time. What we call maximization in psychodrama. Let's hear from both of them at the same time.
It so feeds my heart to do that work.
I just can't believe that you would even imagine to do this.
Just
this
be
is such a
realized by
selfish
these
act on
people
your
that
part.
experience the joy it
you've
brings
got a
me.
family
I
to
will
raise
work
and to
from
think
morning till
about. This
midnight
isn't
for those
about
people. I
you.
love
Freeze. What's going on, Tony? Got a lot of doubles in the audience.
I wasn't able to move.
I'm frozen.
I'm frozen. I wasn't able to move to the direction I want to go.
Yeah.
Something is holding me back because of the concern that I have.
Right. Yeah. So I want you to choose somebody to sit in for you in that spot. Christina, come on out here with me. It's what we call the mirror position. We're going to get a reflection of what's going on here. And we're just going to kick this back into gear, and we're going to watch from out here. Okay? So let's just let it rip again.
That work
What
of
are
helping
you
people, it
thinking?
feeds my
What-
heart.
and what about your
It's what I'm
reputation?
drawn to do. I'm called to that.
There's things
I
that
want
you
my
have to
children to
provide
see
for
an
this
example
family. I
of
can't
living your lives
believe
for what matters.
that you would be
I want
so
my children
selfish.
to know
You
what
know,
it is to
you've
live
got
by
to think about
values,
what's
not by
right for
money.
this family.
Freeze. So what do you notice from out here? You might want to take a breath. That might help.
I can listen to her.
Can't listen to her. Yeah.
Because if I do, I will never able to move back,
Yeah.
move towards the direction I want to go.
So what do you want to do with that part of yourself? You can do anything you want. It's your psychodrama.
Well, I'm gonna cover her up. You know what? I kind of think I need 2 or 3 of them, so I don't see her face.
I'm hearing some gagging and gagging opportunities offered from the audience here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say to that part of yourself now that you've covered it up?
Well, thanks for for reminding me that I need to support my family, and I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I believe that if I'm a more fulfilled father, more fulfilled person, I can serve my family better.
Say that again.
If I'm a more fulfilled person, I can serve my family better, better than what it's now.
So the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is how you want to close this piece. What do you want to say? What do you want to do? You can reconfigure it. You can do anything you want.
Well, I'm kind of have to move her.
Gonna move her?
Yeah, I'm gonna move her. What? I know that kind of voice is always gonna exist.
Yeah, you're always going to exist for me.
Yeah, but I have to make a decision to put you somewhere in the back, so that your voice is not as strong, not as obvious.
Yeah, you're not going to go away. I know that. But I can
Fact of
choose
life,
where
yeah.
it's a fact of life.
Fact
Exactly.
of life.
And what do you want to do with these 2 other parts?
Well, I kind of want to stay here and to soak up with the energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That this part of me, that the kind of person that I will be, frankly, I just can't wait to be over here. Yeah. Can't wait.
So is this a place we can stop
Yes.
today? Great. So I'm going to have you all stand up and de-roll, because we don't want Diane walking around the rest of the conference and having everybody avoiding her and wanting to strangle her. So let's have you all stand up and de-roll. So
I'm
one
Michael,
at a
I'm not
time.
your good angel.
Say that again.
I'm not Tony.
Say it again.
I'm Christina. I'm not Tony.
Thank you.
I'm Michael, I'm not your good angel.
I'm Diane. I'm not that negative voice.
Let's give them another round of applause. Give it up. You can stand over here for now. Did I tell you they were fabulous? I'm very blessed. So Tony said it so eloquently. That voice is going to come up for each and every one of us when an opportunity arises or when a vision manifests. But the question is, can I bring those parts of myself together? Can I step into my spontaneity with a lot of support from other people and choose to give compassion to myself instead of having contempt for the choices that I might have made, and instead of living in the fear that might get in the way of who knows where my spontaneity might lead me? Thank you. Come on out.